I say, yo, welcome to the BBW show. You feel me? We talk battle rap, basketball, and wrestling on a daily basis. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The topic for today is wrestling. Now, I feel like WrestleMania season is the time where I have to have a bunch of wrestling content coming out. I'm not gonna lie. So probably every Saturday from now, leading up into WrestleMania, I'm gonna have different lists coming out. Top 5 returns, top 5 moments, like stuff like that. You feel me? I already did the top 5 worst signings of the Triple H regime. Then I did the top 5 best signings of the Triple H regime. Now we're about to do 10 dream matches that I need to see in the year 2023. Now, all of these dream matches are fathomable and possible. This is not Roman Reigns versus Okada. If you're expecting that, that is not on this list. Seth Rollins versus Will Ospreay is not on this list. That has no possibility of happening this year. In the future, maybe. There is no chance Roman Reigns versus Okada happening this year. Rollins versus Ospreay happening this year. Street Profits versus Acclaim. That's not happening anytime soon. You feel me? These are realistic fantasy matches that can happen in 2023. Number 1, Gunther versus Drew McIntyre. Yes, I want to see that match. I know everybody want to see Sheamus dethrone Gunther for the IC title at WrestleMania. I'm okay with that. But I would want to see at least a singles match between Gunther and Drew McIntyre before that. Maybe you can even build it up and have Gunther injure Drew McIntyre. But I feel like ever since we've been back to live fans, Drew McIntyre has not been the same, honestly. Since we went back to live fans. He lost to Bobby Lashley at the WrestleMania 2 years ago. Then he had the feud with Baron Corbin. That went nowhere. Lost to Roman Reigns recently. It's like he hasn't been the same ever since we went back to the live crowd. And I thought he was going to be the top babyface. He was the top guy in the pandemic era. Once the pandemic era was over, Drew McIntyre just became another guy. I kind of don't like that. I feel like him and Gunther could go out there and have some magic, in my opinion. Number 2, The Elite versus House of Black. Yes, everybody's talking about this. They can still do this for the pay-per-view this week. I don't know if they are, but The Elite versus House of Black is a dream 6-man tag match. Easily. We already had The Elite versus Death Triangle, best of 7. I don't want to see that ever again. We already had House of Black versus Death Triangle. I don't want to see that ever again. So The Elite versus House of Black 6-man tag matches, this could be great. And then they can even do singles matches. Kenny Omega versus Malachi Black. Kenny Omega versus Buddy Matthews. The Young Bucks versus Malachi Black and Brody King. It's so many different matches they can do with this storyline. I feel like it could be really, really good. You feel me? And it can make the Elite, like, the Elite is not a factor right now on Dynamite. Honestly, they're not in nothing important. This would give them something important to do, in my opinion. Number 3, Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley. This match is gonna happen in 2023. I don't know when, I don't know where, but this match is gonna happen. They already had a great stare down a few weeks ago, going into the Rumble, I think. This match is gonna happen sooner than later. And it can main event a show. This can main event a show. Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. I can't wait till it happens. Edge versus Brock Lesnar. That's a surprise. You didn't expect to see that fast. They have never wrestled. They've both been around since 2002. Never wrestled. Edge retired 2012 when Brock came back. Then Edge came back around 2019. Brock was away. So it's like, bro, they have kind of like been like literally ships in the night passing each other. Now they're both main eventers. They're both part-timers. They both only have a few years left. I believe that. I believe Edge and Brock only got about 2 years left, and then they're going to stop wrestling. I need to see that match before it's over. This is one of the few dream matches for both of them. Edge and Brock Lesnar versus each other. Now, I know that Edge has a bunch of neck history and all of that. But Edge is a great storyteller. They can tell a great story without having to dump Edge on his neck with mad suplexes. That's the match I need to see. Number 5, Cody Rhodes versus Bobby Lashley. This is a great match I want to see. I feel like the story will be great. They both wear suits, and they about to turn Bobby Lashley heel and put him back with MVP anyway. I feel like that would be great, bro. That would be great. That would be great. Bobby Lashley can be a dastardly heel. A dastardly heel. You remember in the pandemic era when he was beating up the New Day? When he beat up Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods at Hell in a Cell? Remember when he beat up Goldberg's son? Like, bro, heel Bobby Lashley can be great. Can be great. And right now, Cody Rhodes is the biggest star in WWE than he ever was in AEW. Easily. Ever. Ever. His first year in WWE, he's a bigger star than the whole 4-year run of AEW. Easily. So I feel like if Cody Rhodes beats Roman Reigns, Bobby Lashley versus Cody Rhodes can be a marquee title match in the future. Now we get into the good stuff to me. This is the good stuff. Jay White versus Kenny Omega. Jay White just left Japan. Nobody knows if he's going to AEW or WWE. If he goes to AEW, this is a marquee match, bro. One-on-one singles match. Kenny Omega, Jay White. Give it to me, please. This would be dope. They only had like one singles match, and it was early in Jay White's career. When he just came back to New Japan, he was doing a switchblade gimmick, and it just started. He beat Kenny Omega for the U.S. title. Good match, really good match. But they will have a great match now. Now it would be a great match. Jay White promos, his ring psychology, all of that is magnificent right now. Magnificent. And Kenny Omega is still one of the best in the world. Even though he doesn't wrestle like it and we don't see it on an everyday basis, Kenny Omega is still one of the best in the world. I need that match. Number 7, Bronson Reed versus Seth Rollins. I know that's coming out of nowhere. But Bronson Reed, he hasn't done nothing since he made his return to WWE. But him and Seth Rollins can have a great match, bro. I've seen Bronson Reed and Okada have a great match in the G1. Seth Rollins is up there with Okada. He might be past Okada because he does promos and he wrestles every week. Seth Rollins is one of the best in the business. Ever. Him and Bronson Reed can make magic. Gangster. And I like Bronson Reed way better as a heel. Him and Seth Rollins can make magic. Now, obviously, it can be a world title feud if built right, but Bronson Reed is not on Seth Rollins' level in a fan's eyes. So I would give it a few months. But that's a marquee match. Number 8 dream matches I need to see in 2023. Adam Cole versus Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Oh my God. Need I say more? Adam Cole and MJF, their promos together would be magic. Their in-ring work together would be magic. I don't have to say more about that. Adam Cole just came back a few weeks ago. He's going to be a babyface. That's something we haven't seen in a long time. Babyface Adam Cole. MJF, I feel like they have a great size. One is not bigger than the other. You feel me? MJF have a way bigger body. He's way more Aki than Adam Cole. But they both have the same body type, respectfully. That can be magic. And they both can go about an hour, bro. They can have a 45-minute match. Just them, no outside interference. Just them two. MJF versus Adam Cole needs to happen this year. Number 9. I'm going to tell you what it says on this list. Danielson in New Japan. That's all it says. Danielson in New Japan. I need Bryan Danielson in New Japan. No, I don't want somebody from New Japan coming to AEW wrestling Bryan Danielson on AEW television. No, I don't want that. I don't want Bryan Danielson in New Japan Strong in LA Dojo somewhere wrestling somebody. No, I don't want that. I want Bryan Danielson flying all the way across the globe to Japan and wrestling in the Japan Osaka Dome, Tokyo Dome, whatever. I want that. The full experience, bro. I want Daniel Bryan in a New Japan ring, bro. A full Japan ring. All of that. Kevin Kelly, all that. Japan ring announcer, all of that. I want the full experience, bro. I need that. Danny Bryan missed the Forbidden Door show last year. He would have wrestled Zack Sabre Jr. That would have been cute. You feel me? But I need Daniel Bryan in a New Japan ring against either Ishii, either Shingo Takagi, Either Sonata, because that would be a great match. They're not going to give Okada away just for nothing. They're not going to give us Daniel Bryan versus Kazuchika Okada away for nothing. They're not. So, I don't know how y'all going to do it, but I need that match. Bryan Danielson versus Tanahashi. Bryan Danielson versus any Evil. I would even take that, bro. I would take Bryan Danielson versus Evil if it means I get to see Bryan in Japan. Anybody, bro. Him versus Yoshihashi. Him versus Goto. I don't care. I just need to see, in my lifetime, Bryan Danielson wrestle on New Japan soil. I need to see that, bro. I need to see that. I need to see that. He's not in the New Japan Cup this year. Hopefully he's in the G1. Hopefully he's in the Forbidden Door. Something like that. I need Bryan Danielson to physically wrestle in Japan. That's all I need. I don't care who it is against. I need that for my soul this year. That's a fact. Last but not least, the number 10th match for 10 dream matches of 2023. FTR versus the Usos. That's the biggest match to me. I'm not going to lie. I know I talked about Edge versus Brock. I talked about JY versus Kenny Omega. All of that. The Usos versus FTR can be the best tag team match in WWE history. Mind you, I said WWE history. It can be that, bro. It can be that. If we get the FTR we had for this past year, that had all the belts, that had the AAA belts, New Japan belts, CML belts. If we get that FTR versus the Usos that we had for this past year, the unified tag team champions, Bloodline Usos, if we get those two teams in the ring together, that will steal the show. That will steal the show. I don't care what show it is. I don't care what country it's in. I don't care what time it happens. It can happen at 3 in the morning. That, excuse me. That will steal the show. That will steal the show. The promos. I know we had them fight like 3 years ago before FTR left WWE. The promos that FTR are cutting now, amazing. The promos the Usos are cutting now, amazing. The character work of FTR now, amazing. I remember in NXT, nobody knew the difference between Scott Dawson and Cass Wheeler. They don't look the same, but nothing separated them. Now they separate each other. The Usos, they are blood twin brothers. Nobody knew the difference between them. There's a difference between them now. Their work, FTR work right now, singles or tag, up there. They're great. Usos work, single or tag, main event Jey Uso, up there. Like, bro, they are literally better in every single way than they were back then. Both teams. Both teams are better on the mic. Both teams are better as characters. Both teams are better in the ring than they were back then, bro. Both teams are completely better. This match would draw money. This can be a main event match. Like, this can be a main event. FTR, the Arrival, whatever you want to call them, against the Usos, that can draw mad money. That is the biggest tag team match of the year right now. Like, I don't care what anybody says. 2-on-2 tag team match, that's the biggest one this year. That has to be done. That has to be done this year. FTR said their contract ends in April. We don't know if they're going to re-sign with AEW or jump back to WWE under Papa H. If they do, FTR versus the Usos has to happen. I don't care if it's WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Money in the Bank, Clash at the Castle. That match has to happen. And they have to go 40 minutes. They have to go 40 minutes. Like, bro, Usos and FTR. Oh my God. And then you throw in Triple H's leading creative. So they're not going to be fighting over, what was it, Icy Hot or none of that stupid shit. No. We're going to fight to see who is the best tag team on God's green earth. That's all we're fighting for. Oh my God. I need that in my veins. I'm not going to lie. Usos versus FTR. God have mercy. That would easily be the biggest tag team match of this year. I don't care what other company does tag matches. That would be the biggest tag team match of 2023 in any promotion. Point blank period. that was my list. Let's run it back so you don't forget. This is not in no order, but Gunther versus Drew McIntyre. The Elite versus House of Black. Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley. Edge versus Brock Lesnar. Cody Rhodes versus Bobby Lashley. Jay White versus Kenny Omega. Bronson Reed versus Seth Rollins. Adam Cole versus MJF. Bryan Danielson in New Japan in any shape, form, or fashion. I don't care if he versus the ring card girl. I don't care if he versus the young lion. I just need to see Bryan Danielson in a New Japan ring in Japan. Number 10, the Usos, Jimmy and Jay. The Bloodlines Usos, WWE's greatest tag team ever, versus the Revival, FTR, Scott Dawson and Cash Wheeler. Or Scott Dawson and Dax Harwood, whatever you want to call them. We need those. Those are my 10 dream matches for 2023. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll be back with more.